Palmate means what? Nowadays, people blend palmate with that of the maize. The code does allow it. Blending of palmate. Palmate, when the whey is pasteurized, it does contain some cream and the protein, and you know the exact amount of the cream and your protein. Then you can blend. Instead of adding water to the system, water is not being added. Instead of adding, getting the full milk, some of the skim milk, you can blend 70% with that 30%. But you have the right palmate content, milk content palmate. However, in the practice, industry practice, then you write palmate free milk. Okay, you can see some of the products palmate free or palmate content palmate. Okay, very beginning we had a question: animal protein or plant protein? I said I have a slide where we talk about protein efficiency ratios. Because dietary pattern is different demographically. Japanese will love their food. We love Japanese food, but doesn't mean that I'll compare. I eat my own food where if I eat my fermented food like idli dosa, I eat my chapati, I eat my chapati, or eat my paneer, I eat my paneer. So Japanese food will be different. So depending on that, the egg protein. You look at the egg protein here. So egg.
Egg, poultry egg or other
fertilized
or
fertilized.
there are two types.
Poultry. It's a part that comes out from farm. And fertilized. They have the
Yellow egg.
Okay. Fertilized and non-fertilized egg. Egg is basically you take it's that's available in the supermarket. They're unfertilized. So you take it's by the book, egg is classified by FAO and UN, the gold standard food. It contains 32 type variety of protein, not a single. 32, more than 30 were in compositional analysis. Lysozyme is the key. So you can see, you know those structure that's coming in lysozyme structure is being isolated from egg. So if you look at whey protein, and we talked about some soya protein, now you get the answer. Please tell me which one is better protein. Anyone? Just simple diagram.
Whey protein is better. All hen is more. But we compare soya and whey is better.
Prince, have you got your answer now?
Yes.
Have you clear now? Or any doubt?
Well, no, not much. But if I consider the protein, that's the hen egg is hard. But I was actually looking for if somebody is placed on diet. Is it good for a person to be taking the whey protein or let me say the protein hydrolysates to minimize maybe the protein content? Yeah.
If you're in a diet, it's completely different picture.
Yeah, okay.
Because you will say you will talk about healthy adults.
Yes. That healthy.
And yeah. So when you talk example, so you are not restricting that one. Okay. Now clear? You take me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
This protein efficiency ratio is basically the bioavailability of the protein.
Yeah.
So it's about the amount of essential amino acids.
Essential amino acids
It's different or it's same.
is a comparison the basis of that. I will come to a chart.
It's about availability.
Availability. Amino acids are here. So we discussed about essential amino acids, lysine, glycine, and some of the sort of containing amino acids. The idea is to have the nutrient from a source where we get our daily activities, those essential amino acids. Because protein has to convert into various ways through pepsin and the GI tract, it has to be bioavailable. If it is not bioavailable, brain has sent a signal that I need that. So you know the central dogma the central dogma, the cascading system. So here not available, then the message goes, message is not available. So you are deprived of that function. Automatically, the translation doesn't occur. So I will talk about the degree of hydrolysis as given of the different protein here, treated and untreated. But to understand the composition of whey protein, within the whey protein, what is the composition? Like with whey protein we discussed, it has gone. We discussed about beta-con glycine, and then acidic subunit, basic subunit, and the soya protein itself. Discussed 2S protein, 7S protein, 11S protein. We discussed about. We understand how the soya protein being classified. It's a very classical example. Osman did the classification in 19th century. The soluble fraction, insoluble fraction, and the extraction protocol based on the solubility. So everybody still follows that. So if you look at the unhydrolyzed control and the protein activity is there, 3-4 days time we discuss about very fast we discuss about some of the bioactive nature of this protein. We'll be talking about this functionality, and in the 5th day of the talk, that's whey protein and soy protein, what is the biofunctionality of that. Okay. If you look at the degree of hydrolysis, you see, even though your hydrolysis time is increased, your activity of amines and activity is increased slowly, but it's a maximum at some points here, but this is already you're saturating this, and then hydrolysis. So to understand the activity of any biofunctionality, we have simple kinetic curve here. So we determine that enzyme concentration that we are using, temperature and time, does not produce extra biological activity.
Can you deviate the ACE?
ACE
you use here. Development of ACE inhibitory activity. So what basically is ACE?
Okay. Anybody can tell me who got Nobel Prize 2 years ago? And what subject in pathology and medicine? I mentioned it. Circadian rhythm is different. No, it's for the angiotensin. I'm talking about that. It's basically blood pressure, treating the blood pressure. Okay. Most of the people are suffering from blood pressure nowadays, like diabetic. So when AC1 convert to AC2, then the blood pressure that was awarded 2 to 3 years. You can Google it and find out that was given Nobel Prize for this blood pressure treating medicine.
So AC is angiotensin.
Yeah. So some of the list here are not more detailed here.
Angiotensin 1 converting enzyme.
Yeah, one is converting.
Angiotensin 1 converting enzyme.
Okay. So these are the fragments that sequence. Some of you might be interested. I think Dr. Sharma was talking how to do peptide synthesis and then produce it industrially. So you have to design your sequence and produce it. You have to know the sequence, what exactly the amino acid composition. Same thing here. And I was talking about the opioid, means the nocturnal animal, means it's like inducing sleep in the body. So someone sleep deprived, they can take this casomorphin. Now I'm coming to the. I want to show one slide, the composition. Let's go into that. Yes, I'll come back to this. There with me. No, this one. No, that's the last slide. Maybe it's not here. Okay. Basically, whey protein is beta-lact or alpha-lactalbumin. I'm not concentrating the structure of what is how beta-lactic looks. You can find out in protein database. And the alpha-lactalbumin, the molecular. I put a slide, particularly the beta-lact molecular weight, size, and all these things. I think somewhere I could have to look at the book and say that casein is different, and then so all these things I put one and then alpha-lactalbumin. So this is composition and biopsy of albumin. You all know that you either use the standard lorry method or direct method you're using for the protein optical measurement. So all from the milk protein. So these are the peptides, dipeptides and the tetrapeptides involved in case of the C inhibitor activity. And then concentration is designed here. So what is happening in this? When you have some of the clinical data, and then the blood test, now people are taking, I'm talking about clinical data. I'm not satisfied to recommend you take this as for your treatment like this, but you have to consult your physician, means your doctor, who has the complete blood profile. Then only they can recommend the dose and the correct composition. Because strong resistance for the overtaking the unwanted antibiotics or exposed to unwanted antibiotics is the biggest nowadays. Overseas, even though our flu, cold and cough, flu is 800 or 900 different type variety of virus does include, they don't prescribe any of the antibiotics. Even though you have fever, temperature, headache, no antibiotic. So your body has to hide. So they don't give antibiotics. Then, because the physician will only tell you, but please do not take this directly without consult. My request is like that. You go and look what is this product I want to take. Don't self-treat. My opinion is that don't self-treat yourself. But I have to tell you that these are bioactive peptides. We will look at that and then product find and will self-treat. Don't self-treat yourself.
So these are in the previous slide.
Yeah.
These are for the individual access, right?
Yeah. So I was talking about the way the medical sciences evolve. Some of the cohorts, the fragments or any of the compounds being developed is minimum 10 years life cycle. Okay. So these are the fragments that I was talking about, the sequence of beta-lact protein using mass spec. They're telling that opioid activity. I was talking about nocturnal milk. I mentioned nocturnal milk, and I asked a question: why we drink milk in the night? And you correctly answered that they are contain tryptophan. Okay, and some of the compound isolated casomorphin, which is the opioid activity, that also have muscle relaxant. So that is given also prescription medicine, not directly over the counter. So these are the things I'm suggesting. Do not self-treat again. You just to see that the availability of products being in the market for due to the advancement and the development of that, value-adding the product. So bioactive properties of food protein derived from peptides, promotion of human health and disease prevention. The idea and key is that we take the whole food. The idea from the very beginning I'm taking, we take the whole food. This is the introduction, we said we take whole food. Then in your food format, we'll take the food. If it has to be in the added, something is missing, we'll take that as whole food. If you don't get it that, then you have to go to the other system available. These are different systems. So you have to consult with somebody who is the capable person, who then they can determine what is suitable for you. So that's it. So food derived peptides is the antioxidant activities. You can take antioxidant, any of the protein, you can give me an example which is an antioxidant property, any protein, antioxidant. You know what is antioxidant? Everybody like amla, vitamin C. Nobel Prize was awarded for that. Antioxidant. Citrus fruit. Any citrus fruit.
Yeah.
So we take lemon. So that's a very good example. Every day we consume lemon. My meal is not complete without lemon. So it's basically that lemon is giving you protection for cold and cough. So we know simple practice. And then other thing, this is lowering the blood pressure and immunomodulatory properties. Means people are now telling that I want my immunoprotection. Like immunoprotection means, suppose immunomodulatory, you have probiotics I'm talking about. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Somebody will mention writing ABC probiotic or clinically active probiotics means acidophilus, bifidobacterium, and cassia. Or there are other probiotics are there. It has to be clinically proven, though that having some immunoprotection for you. It's a big market now. So it can be your bowel movement, or it can be immunoprotection. School children are exposed to different kind of pollution and stress. They need immunity, increased immunity. So if they get this kind of probiotics found in the whole food, that's the idea of adding those into some of the food, fortified food, to get immunoprotection. So this is multifunctional. So I think anti-cancer properties, I have not touched that, and it's a big area because no medicine has been found correctly. So I have not apologize for that, and thank you for hearing. Okay, any more questions we can discuss now? We have to 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
So, Dr. Ram, nowadays there is a word which is spreading around that milk. We think that milk is the most important part of our diet. But in US, people say milk is not at all required in your diet. So, what is your comments on that? Is it required, or it can be substituted?
It's talking about dairy and not dairy. I put in what is the key for product development? I said dairy 2. I didn't put dairy. Dairy 2 means we have cultures with the need probiotics. Dairy has been redefined. I need my buttermilk. Buttermilk is nothing new. You go to thousands of years ago, we had buttermilk here. So it contains phospholipids. The phospholipids, they will go to the joints, and then the oil, greasy. So it provides protection, like do not have osteoporosis or do not have joint pain, any of the inflammatory diseases. So eliminating, some people have concern about lactose intolerance. They do not like milk, but now when nutrition has come, lactose has been filtered, ultra hydrated, as lactose-free milk is available in the market. If they are allergic to some of the conditions, so they don't take milk, it irritates their system. But without milk, the alternatives again is, as seen many people are taking vegan diet. The milk is doesn't fall in that, so milk is not vegan. It's vegetarian, but not vegan. So they're taking soy milk now. Then soy milk yogurt is also there in market recently. They call soy milk yogurt. Some of the almond milk is also there. They're taking almond milk. Some people are taking coconut milk. Then coconut milk yogurt is also there. This is recently the new products are coming. They're eliminating dairy from their diet. But why dairy here, and why? Because it's widely available, very easy. If I say do not take dairy have to find an alternative source to suggest them that which can substitute the same essential functional properties and all things in their diet and easily and readily available there. And if you look, I suggested soya milk or something like almond milk and all, they're very expensive products. So everyday consumer will not prefer those products. They will not buy at all. I have never tested, I tested soya milk, I have never tested this almond milk yogurt or something like that. I have yet to taste soya milk yogurt. I tested soya milk, but the chocolate flavor, that you try, you buy something and you drink. But I have not tested it. I go back to always the traditional way. Okay. So rapidly evolving. So people are changing, like you were talking. One of the Australian model I saw was 10 years ago it was cereal. Today everybody is eating cereal-based food. Now the focus is changing to more of the vegetables. So because they want to include vegetables more than will include. This is also in various statistics of how 2050 will be looking at that all over the globe. So they're suggesting like that. So means we are taking more fiber, whether it's soluble or insoluble. So beta glucan we are talking about we get from oats. So best breakfast we are talking about, you could take yogurt and put your oat. And if you take milk and you might have porridge with your oat. So that is best. And if you can top up and that can put some of the nuts, you can put some of the berries. Those are required a lot, depending on you. But that's a very good breakfast. You keep the food satiating. So you don't increase weight. If you're concerned about weight, you don't put an extra weight. So that's why I'm talking about obesity and other things. So eliminating dairy is very big challenge on the thing. It's the other consumer preference and the health condition. That is driving that. But we do not have complete alternative replicate that one in global scale.
But they take other dairy products. If they don't drink milk, but they take milk products in a very good amount, like cheese and
that's what
so in the other form they are taking milk products.
Somebody asked, do you take milk? No, I don't take, but I love my cheese. But how do you define it?
They are taking
But the increased number of reports of adulteration in milk, that has driven this concept. Like, can we replace milk? If we want to get rid of milk, then how to substitute it? Like, as you said, that milk provides a complete food. But if someone wants to get rid of milk, so that means the diet, the nutritive value which is coming from the milk has to be substituted by some other source.
Like dioxin, 3 years ago there was an international period about dioxin being added into the very in fact
WHO has
released guideline before. That's product pull out the response and many kids fall sick and some are gone lifelong certain diseases. Then urea being used in the making of milk, you all know that. Food adulteration is a regulatory authority. It's not the manufacturer side. Means that the body is governing that we make complete food means it should be safe, healthy for the consumer. That's the prime important fact. But governing body is different. They come and see. Like honey. Honey is picture three. So if you say that this is honey, if you have maple syrup in it, the sugar, or pass through the simple sugar taste, the garden industry practices that. It says have a simple sugar taste to say the honey is 100% or not. But the blending of honey with that of maple syrup, with beetroot syrup, plus the syrup of the starch of the rice, that bypass the current taste means they're adulterating honey and making money come out of that. So that way, how to detect it? In sports industry, they have highly sophisticated things. The screen athletes, the food industry is also like rapid diagnostic is the key here. Industry will not wait 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. Today I was talking to do a test to say if it's pure or not. No, that doesn't happen in industry. The whole batch is wasted. It doesn't work. So you have to quickly do everything is optimized, everything is done in the lab and final scale before coming to the launching things. Go. So that will be analyzed like that. never thought in that way. Otherwise, the what will never will happen.
So I was asking, most of the your last slide, you have shown several applications of the peptides, and most of the applications are actually therapeutic applications like anti-cancers and inflammatory and all. So although these are all food-derived peptides, but they are not food. How do you see this? Like these peptides are going to be used as therapeutic molecules. So now this food industry, which are actually producing these peptides, how do you see where do they stand? These two different areas like drug production and the food production. And the drug can be consumed orally, but then it is not food. So, like your company is food, is food. So, do you think that these two areas merge or?
Yeah, initially I was talking like we have pharmacy, microbiology, clinical data. You can't do any isolation. Like everybody has to work together. So nowadays you can't assemble a product understanding microbiology is the key here. However, sector is the number one issue. If you like I was talking about the entrepreneur system where you discuss, when you have a product, please take the insurance, liability insurance. I missed that part thinking because when you have a regulator authority that you register a company and your product is there, if you lack insurance, when somebody complains, somebody falls sick or you're taking a product, you have some backup that you have to compensate. They ask for compensation. Sometimes it's a huge thing when it affects all the company. So safety is the number one. So safety is the microbiology here. So you have microbiology, right? Then again the ingredient, you have raw material, then clinical data. So it's a team. So, isolation can be done. Then pharmaceutical application means some has to go to the pharmacy sector, some has to go to the whole food sector, and then this food is in such a way designed that it is a multi-complex material. Not only protein here also. That's I told in the very beginning. We are only talking about protein in isolation. It's not in the real system. It's not like that. It has starch, fat, and other things. That's why I'm touching slightly about different things. So a lot of things is a very complex phenomena. The assembly that product is not that easy. Simple product is okay. I determine the pH of this protein. It's very easy. The kid can do it. School they're doing, but it's not that easy.
So Dr. Rahul, as you just mentioned that egg is a gold standard as it contains a large number of proteins, and as Dr. Raji was just asking, alternative the milk. So there are people who do not take even egg. So what is the most suitable alternative of that to have all the protein requirements that egg is providing us? And just to compensate that thing, what is the most suitable food we should have?
Okay, that's also very interesting question. Because we will not have egg, we will not get milk. So we are very limited. Okay, then we are only relying on some, we are not taking protein from other source. Other source we are talking about, we saw already one slide will be coming, soya versus the whey protein. Then alternative is only soya there. I can only suggest.
Allergic to soya also sometimes.
Some people are allergic to B8 allergen, some are allergic to soya. There is no choice at all. So the very difficult. That's why where we get all the nutrients there. Because there is very limited choice here. Then we can have legumes like we does like moong dal and other things, but they are not having any allergic effect there. Moong dal or tur dal and urad dal and then the chickpeas, a big good source of protein also. Because chickpea. What that toast that are coming now, like burgers, veggie burgers. It has soya, chickpea, corn, and carrot, peas. Of course, a gum there to bind the film molecule. So people like something alternative to the existing thing. So these are alternative. Other things, chickpeas and other things, they are all listed. But you have to consume it in the required quantity. and every day, so that whatever protein body needs, we get from those amino acids from different sources. Can you answer the question?
It's been told repeatedly. You're not having eggs. You will be deprived of protein.
Yeah.
So that constantly comes to the mind. So we should have it,
Yeah.
and then we have this. Earlier also we were talking religious. We don't feel like eating.
Yes.
So that is the constant thing.
Yeah. Because you have to make a choice. We cannot compromise with religion. Because it's for everybody. That's a good thing. Then we practice that one. But diet is something different. So that's why we're talking demographically it changes country to country. So our practice is that. So suppose Monday I eat this thing, or Tuesday I want to eat that one. Okay, it's like that. So Thursday I will not eat that one. So how do I balance that way? So we have to have a chart, like a plan. I eat my fruits and nuts on this day because I am vegetarian, and I'm allowed to eat my butter on that day. That should be from veggie burger, so I get my protein. I eat 3 types of oil, that's called dal in that format, so I get my protein. And blended with chapati, just fried multigrain chapati, I get all the protein from there. You have to compensate those things. Then only we have some balance kind of that. So you have to see some dietitian that I cannot eat this and that, but you can figure it yourself. But he is qualified to suggest you that you get that one. But eating this kind of food will not cause any health concern, but you can go in that path. I understand that the basic thing, something you say, but it's not applied to everybody. It's not about making sense. Yes.
Can we incorporate mushrooms? It has a lot of protein.
Yes.
Mushrooms in the diet.
Mm.
Because we have not discussed mushrooms. We have discussed other sources of protein, but it also has a lot of protein.
Okay. I think one of the mushroom is costlier than gold.
Shiitake is also very costly.
This company in US recently started. They were covered in New York Times and Washington Post, and so that's that protein comes from the mushroom Behaviour family mushroom, which is a fungus. It has a lot of potential, like Chinese diet or the Japanese diet. Everywhere they take mushroom like anything. If you can correlate the life expectancy of Japanese people, they take seafood and tofu, the soya food, fermented product, and then the mushrooms and green tea. Okay, it has polyphenols, the antioxidants. Whatever stress is there, the polyphenols will fight with the free radical forms within the body, so it will calm the body. Then they take all the things that they are taking. Seafood like salmon they take, it's a very good source of omega, and then sushi you all know that's what format they're eating. But I'm talking about a classic example correlating how the lifestyle intensity life experience of those healthy aging and all activities. But coming about the soluble fiber and insoluble fiber present in the mushroom is people pay premium price for mushroom. Mushroom is basically 5 to 6 times costlier than other vegetables, fruits and vegetables in normal market.
Yeah, in India, normally we take button mushroom is most common. Calyptus is most common. But there are so many other mushrooms which is not available in the market.
Portable mushroom, butter mushroom.
So is just that. But they don't. There are other mushrooms.
Yeah. The mushroom industry is growing, thriving, because anybody can start, somebody, everybody is interested in doing some of the food sector. I'm not, if I suggest, okay, why don't you do mushroom? Then someone said, I did try. Doesn't require, you need to have some evacuation chamber, you have to have your cell line ready, and then you have your spawn and all things. But there's plenty mushroom available how to do it. So
they have a mushroom center in Solan, Himachal, and they give training for mushroom cultivation.
So anything we start, we have to do it proper training. That is one suggestion. Means doesn't become all that much of a capital investment or a working capital, and then the manpower.
The only problem is self-back. How to increase the self-back mushroom because it can't store for longer time.
No, because that is people are doing what they're doing, like cup noodles they're coming nowadays. They're doing putting mushroom flour in that mushroom powder. So they like cream of mushroom is soup very popular in this soup. We get one thread. So cream of mushroom they extract the cream, then they dry the mushroom make it powder, and that they can cook it up, and they put the mushroom flavor in the noodles. Apart from that, and then they eat it. It's a big industry, very growing industry, very growing area. So it's a double
We can
take.
preserve, we can preserve, and we can use for longer time.
Actually, mushroom is also one of the protein source which vegan diets are consumed. I mean, the main basic allergen in mushroom is the people who are allergic to mushroom. They are basically allergic to vegetarian derivatives. Okay, so that is why means they are not the vegan mushroom. And so mostly in the foreign countries, for example in US, where they are manufacturing noodles, so they are adding the egg powder into that. 0.5% egg powder they are adding. But in India, the noodles which are called as Oriental noodles, Hakka noodles. So these are the Oriental noodles. Oriental noodles are the ones which do not contain any eggs. So the people who are vegetarians, so might be now they are introducing mushroom powder in the noodles. So might be this is one of the reasons they are replacing from egg powder to the mushroom powder. Dry powder. They want some vegan vegetarian solution instead of the egg sources. So with this, we come to the end of the pre-lunch session. Now we'll be having a lunch break for 2 hours. 2:30 we'll start with the tutorials. I request all the participants and the faculty members of Department of Microbiology to be at the faculty house. The lunch will be served at 1:40. It is quite delayed. It will be served at 1:40. So you please be there. And all the participants and faculty members, they will be having lunch there in the faculty house. And we'll restart at 2:30. We'll see what time we can manage because the lunch is delayed. So thank you.